What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. As you can tell behind me, we're starting in a different setting. The setting we are in is my laundry room. This is what my laundry room currently looks like. Very creepy with the red and a lot of storage in here. So I'm gonna finally start putting the finishing touches on my basement so I feel like I can enjoy the bottom half of my house instead of just the upstairs. So that's the goal, and the first area I want to start working on is my laundry room. I have different areas we'll be touching on throughout this series, but today's focus is the laundry room. The first thing I am going to start to fix, as you can tell, they did not do proper framing for this wall. They laid the 2x4s horizontally instead of vertically. Where you'd have that 1.5 inch thick part exposed instead of the 3.5 inch part exposed. However, I'm not going to tear down this entire wall, all the framing, to redo it. That would just be a lot of work. So I'm going to work with what I got and fix it and make it so I can put drywall on this side of the laundry room. So before I can do any of that, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all this stuff. So you saw me get everything out of the way. We finally have more of a clear path to walk through all along this wall here. I'm gonna now go over each stud as well as the drywall and look for any nails that are popping out or screws that are popping out. Get those all out of the way. The one that's gonna be the biggest problem is gonna be this guy right there. Hopefully you can see it. And so for that, I'll probably use my reciprocating saw and just chop that off. I'm mainly not going to film this segment just because it's kind of easy and boring. I'm just taking off anything that's going to complicate new studs being put on. But that's what I'm going to do. You will see me once I'm done doing that. Alright, so once I got everything cleared off, all the studs and the drywall, the next thing I did is measured out every 24 inches. Since this isn't a supporting wall, I don't need to have my studs at 16 inches apart, so I'm going to keep them 24 inches apart. Save me on some 2x4s because I know I'm going to need a lot for the in-between. But my next step is to cut them, so now I'm going to do so, but I'm not going to film it because I'm just cutting 4 pieces of 2x4 down to 74 and 9/16 inches long. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will see you in the next clip. Well, hello there. You been waiting for me? Just kidding, I know you have. Anyways, now that I have my 4 pieces cut, the next thing I'm gonna do is actually a little unorthodox, but we're gonna put some pocket holes on these bad boys, and that's how we're gonna secure them to the bottom of the frame that's in place currently. Come on, I'll show you. So I finished jigging everything and I was ready to go put it up against the wall. Turns out the pieces are too long, so I'm gonna have to go trim all those down by like a 1/16 or an 1/8 just to make sure they fit in there. But at least I got Blue here with, hey Blue, sit. Can I have paw? Give me paw. Other paw. Oh, this is a good boy. You're the best helper ever, aren't you? Aren't you? Give the camera a kiss. Oh yeah, there you go. Anyways, gonna have to take off this 1/16 or an 1/8. We'll see. And then we'll be back to putting them up against the wall. So stay on the edge of your seats for that. Right, so we are back in the basement. As you can see, we got these 4 pieces cut down. I guesstimated the length. You know, just use the old eyeballs to figure out the correct length of these pieces. But we're looking pretty good. You'll notice that part of the piece is in and it's, you know, a little snug. Now, you can cut this to a perfect length, but that's kind of unnecessary. And personally, working with a piece like this, the way it is right now, is more ideal because as you can see, it's a tight fit, and I'm just gonna use my mallet to hammer this into place. And now the piece really isn't gonna budge all that much once I'm securing it down with the screws. So this is a little bit of my pro tip. Just use a mallet if you're ever tight in a space like that. Hammer it into place. You can use your hammer, but it's going to damage the wood you're working with most likely, which is why rubber mallets are ideal. So what I'm going to do next is hammer these all into place. And just like that, I think this idea is gonna work. So I'm pretty excited. As you saw in the last clip, I basically hammered it into place, made sure the beam itself was actually level. And once I was confident in the positioning of it, I simply just secured it with some of these screws. So I'm gonna continue that process. I'll set up a time lapse, make it look a little cool, put some cool music to it, you know, as much entertainment as I can give you. But that's basically the steps for what I did. And yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep going and gonna knock this out. All right, see you next clip.